Well, what is up, Glory Gang?
Yo, yo.
Welcome back to another episode of the Glory Boys podcast.
Ooh-wee.
I'm one of your hosts, Austin.
And I am Darren.
And today we are going to dive into really why it's important to have a vision for your company, for your life, and really hopefully break down some practical steps on how you can start to build that vision, put words to it, and start to implement it into your business. So let's get it started.
Yeah, vision is really important, and this episode is called Vision Builders. But before we get into it, let's roll that intro.
Let's go.
Here we are.
On the couch.
On the nice little couch.
This couch is tiny.
It's a tiny, cute little couch.
But it fits two of us all right. I mean, it's not bad. We got plenty of room.
Yeah, if you're watching this on YouTube, you can see we're just chilling. We've stood in like all of our podcasts for the most part.
Since we moved in this building, we have a sit-stand table that is the majority of where we set up our podcast. We typically shoot towards this wall over here, to our left or your left. And but we decided to switch it up really because we wanted to sit down and chill. And also because we wanted to test different angles of shooting in this room. We really built this room with flexibility in mind. So really letting people modularity.
I like that.
Yeah, really letting people customize the lighting behind us, the angle. You know, really there's 3 different walls that you could shoot at if you wanted to that would all look great. And so we just wanted to try something different. We didn't move any of the lights. So really we still just have our trusty Aperture 120D Mark II up here as the face light. And then our 2 newer panels up here that are giving us a nice backlight. But yeah, it's cool to have a studio to be able to just walk into, sit down at the couch or stand at the desk and record a podcast.
Heck yeah. Look at this go.
Yeah, it's a little different feeling though, sitting down, just drinking some iced coffee.
Just vibing it out.
Just had Carrie make us some iced coffee.
Yeah, thanks, Carrie.
It's delicious.
It is really good. Speaking of an important topic here, vision is
not gut health.
Not gut. That is very important.
We're not going to talk about gut health today.
Not today, clearly, because we can't even say gut health.
Yeah. Again, gut health?
Gut health, dude?
Gut health?
Hey, dude. You got any health,
You got some health over there, dude?
Nah, dude. I don't got any health, dude.
Oh, I don't got no health neither, dude.
Nah, dude.
Can you got some health to spare, dude?
Nah, dude.
Anyways. More important topic is vision.
Yeah, vision.
For your company
so it's
or
really
yourself.
Cool. It's really unique. We're in a time of vision. So we had a ton of vision for this year and for this company and for this building that we moved into, and a lot of moving pieces. And it just so happens that our church is in this thing that we call Vision Builders, or we just had Vision Sunday, and we have this thing called Vision Builders Gala, where we come together, we hear the vision of our pastors. But it really got me thinking. Just about 4 years ago, Austin and I were at this Vision Builders Gala with the idea of Glory Visuals in mind, this company that we started. And we just had people really speak into us at that meeting, and really believed with us and believed for really great things for our company. And here we are today, living out that vision. And it's really, really cool. I don't think it's happenstance that we are now almost 4 years old, 5 now full-time employees in our own very own space and studio. We're really working with a ton of amazing clients, working with bigger budgets, and it's just been awesome. It's been an incredible year thus far. Yeah. And this year, Austin and I really, with hiring a few people full-time, has allowed us to step back and have more vision for our company.
Yep.
And there was a book that we were referred to, and I started listening to the audiobook, and I was like, Austin, we have to read this together, because it's really, really crucial that you and I are on the same page. We're thinking ahead. We're looking towards the future, but obviously have to operate in the day-to-day as well. And so having employees has allowed us to step back, have more vision for our company, and really write out goals and visions and objectives. And it's been really, really cool. So that book that we are reading right now currently is called Traction by Gino Wickman.
Gino Wickman, yep.
By Gino Wickman. We're on chapter 3. We stopped at chapter 3 because there was a lot of action items that you and I had to meet with and come up with. There's a vision traction organizer.
Yep.
Is that what it's called?
Yep.
That we had to fill out, and some other things. And so just walk us through kind of like what we've come up with
Yeah.
Actually, no, before we dive into that, what does vision mean to you?
Yeah. I remember that Vision Builders Gala that we kind of got called out by our pastor at the time, and really just prophesied over that we would have success and going full time with this. And it was really cool. And I'll never forget standing up at the stage and having, it was probably 200 people like partnering in prayer over something that we were doing was really cool. And I think that it is part of the job of the local church to influence the marketplace and to be able to empower business owners that are in the marketplace but are rooted in the local church. But vision is, vision's tough for me. It's not my primary strength. I would definitely say I operate better when I'm given vision and I just have to figure out solutions to problems is more my forte. Yeah. But really when we moved in here, I think it was the catalyst for me to be able to have vision for our company again. Cause we did when we first started. And then I feel like I lost sight of it a little bit because I couldn't see beyond where we were at and just the physical bounds of our company and being in this little room with all of our gear, all of that. But moving in here, opened up a world of possibilities and I was able to see, another step beyond. And I think what that's done for me is taught me, and I just have been hearing a lot of relevant teachings on this around the Vision Builders season of our church and all of that. It's obviously mentioned and talked about in our sermons a lot, vision, how important it is to have it. And I think this season of growing, being able to have capacity to grow into vision here in this new building has allowed me to be able to say, okay, then what's next, and start to picture, because as filmmakers, we are visual people. We take a story and we have pictures in our head that pop up. And I feel like what I've realized recently is that vision is a lot like that. And so why is it that I can take somebody's story or somebody can share about their company and I can have an image in my head of what this amazing video product would look like, but I'm not able to actually do that and take it and apply it in my own life. Yeah. Wow. And so I kind of realized I can literally take the same principle that I do to trying to think up shots and think of cool visuals. And I can literally use that to picture in my head, what does our company look like 3 years from now? Yeah, it's great. So that's been, I think, the biggest thing for me, just growing in that. And it's a fun journey. I'm really excited to continue to grow in vision because, again, it's something I haven't been strong with ever. Yeah. So I'm just excited to keep growing in it, keep growing my vision. I think the faster that we grow, the more foresighted I'm able to be because I'm able to kind of see some of these major roadblocks that have happened that were part of my vision. And now I'm just okay, what else is God really just waiting on us for? Yep. Yeah, I think having employees really forced you and I to, because you can't lead without vision. Nope. And so if we don't have vision for our team, we're just worker bees and we just do and get projects done and work through the day and day out monotony. And I don't think I think there's a lifespan on that. Yep. But if there's vision that's out ahead of your team, that you guys are all going towards and that we're all chasing after, I think that is just the continual gas that fuels the fire. Yep. And I think it's very, very crucial in leadership, in your business, in your life. If you don't have vision for your marriage, if you don't have vision for your business, if you don't have vision just really at all, I'd strongly consider trying to start that process and start thinking through that because you're gonna get burnt out, and no matter what you do, without vision. Yeah, so this traction book that we're referring to by Gino Wickman is part of this thing called the EOS. It's the Entrepreneurial Operating System, and it really is just a framework for modern day businesses to be able to kind of define their company culture, define their values, all of that stuff. It really helps put words to it, and the terminology doesn't necessarily matter if you call it a core value or a core trait or whatever you want to call it, but it really helps you walk through the process of clearly identifying that. And like Darren was saying, really the first 3 chapters are about filling out your VTO or Vision Traction Organizer. And so There's things in there like a 10-year picture. What does that look like? Where do you see, your company in 10 years, kind of big stretch goal? Then there's a 3-year plan and a 1-year plan, defining all of your core values, a mission statement, really all of those things. And so we sat down really for probably a full day
in this room.
Yeah, in this room to kind of hash that out. And they recommend that you go off site, but it's nice that we have an office. We don't use a ton. It actually feels kind of like you're going off site in a way.
And we have a cute little cozy couch.
A little cozy couch, can just hide away and chat through all of this stuff. So here in a second, we'll go through our actual VTO with you guys and show you what we put on that and how we filled that out. But before we do that, Darren, what is the definition of vision? Just to give some context, because that can be kind of a vague term. Obviously, like your physical vision is a meaning of vision, but that's not the type of vision we're talking about.
So my homie Webster says that vision is the faculty or state of being able to see, which that makes sense. We have our eyes, we see with our eyeballs. And number 2, the ability to think or plan the future with imagination or wisdom. I think that's really beautiful. Imagination is a big part of vision.
Yeah.
Why is that, Austin?
I mean, you have to be able to see what's not currently in front of you to have vision. It doesn't, like, looking at where you're at and saying, oh, we're going to keep doing exactly what we're doing forever. I mean, maybe is vision, but it's not a good one probably, because you're going to stay the same your whole life.
But it doesn't just say imagination, period. It says imagination and wisdom.
Yeah, I think that's really powerful.
Yeah.
Because it takes both. Like, you could just have vision with great imagination. And there's a lot of people that do that. But they're the people that really, like, just probably don't have what it takes for what they want to do, or they just lack the awareness of like what they're really good at and able to succeed in.
Sure.
And so, they're just kind of everywhere. They're chasing everything that comes along because they have no like lens to filter everything through.
Yeah.
I think that's really what vision does, is it almost puts goggles on your company that allows you to only see things that will move you closer to that vision. If you don't have vision, or if you don't set vision with wisdom and it's just imagination, you're just looking at everything as, oh, wow, look at what this could be. Oh, this could be awesome. This could be awesome. And then you're the guy that's doing 17 different things, and none of them are really getting your attention and succeeding because you're chasing everything that's possible instead of really filtering this. Okay, cool. Great opportunity came along.
Yep.
Does this fit into the vision that I have for my company?
Yeah, I call that running in place.
Yeah.
You're doing and doing and doing, and you're running and running and running. And honestly, you're probably getting burnt out and tired, and you think it's working towards something, but you don't even know for yourself what you're working towards.
Yeah, that's good. So and then just a couple other.
So there are a lot of really great resources out there. There's amazing books. There's amazing authors. There's amazing leaders. I mean, we're a part of a generation that you can literally go on TikTok and you can get fired up about just about anything because someone's with some nice, somber, beautiful music underneath, and somebody's saying, you can do it, which is 100% true. But I don't think you can just do it out of feeling good in the moment or getting inspired for just that second. But you have to put feet to it. You have to actually get up. You have to have some vision, and you actually have to have something that you're chasing after. Because again, if you don't have something, you have no idea what you're chasing after. You're probably not going to get anyone else on your team inspired to chase after anything. And so I think that's something that we had to learn. And so how did we get there? And where are we at with that currently?
Yeah. I mean, there's a reason that we're 4 years into our company. We haven't done it yet. So the encouragement I would have is like,
do it
now.
Here, hold on. Just do it. Just do it.
There you go.
Don't let your dreams be dreams.
Thanks, Shia.
You're welcome.
But no, it is something that we probably should have done 3 years ago. Definitely. But we didn't. And I think to repeat a little bit of what you're saying, like there's a time limit on that. And I think that's why we're doing it now.
Yeah.
Because for us, our time limit was crap. Now we have 3 employees and we feel like they're just aimlessly wandering.
It put our butts in gear. That's
so like
sure.
We had to, when you're just, when it was just us, we shared enough of the vision just naturally because of
there's no other option,
because of the way our personalities collaborate, the way that we work together. We both just kind of carried the vision internally, but it was really when we looked at it, we're like, oh, we have to be able to lead from vision now because we have a team following us. And if we don't give them vision, we're going to go out of business and not be able to pay them, which is like my biggest fear ever.
Yeah, which kicked us in gear because I think you and I, there's no other plan B. This is what we're doing. Like we're already almost 4 years in. Like there's no other option. And so we're going to do whatever it takes. And sometimes doing whatever it takes means we have to do something uncomfortable, which is looking at the reality that you're in and actually having to put this vision on paper, which I will say for me was very difficult. It still is very difficult.
For sure.
It is not easy. I don't think it just comes easy for anyone. And it takes, like, we sat down for a full day. And that wasn't just like, oh, we sat down and it just happened. Like you and I had talked on the airplane when we were flying to Dallas a couple months ago or a month ago, and we had listened and read through Traction, the first 3 chapters. We took a crap ton of notes. We have talked to friends and other people with good counsel that care about us and care about our company. And there's just a lot that goes into it. There's not just like, oh, let's just have some vision, write it down. My goal is to make $1 million in a year. Well, that's an awesome goal, but how do you get there? You need steps, you need practicals, you need a lot of things, objectives in line to actually achieve that.
Yeah, for sure. So we'll just kind of walk through the Vision Traction Organizer, which really is just a 2-page document. One side's vision, one side is traction. So the vision side of it has all of your core values, your core focus, your 10-year target, all of that stuff, kind of the more culture, I guess, style of things, more defining who you are as a company. And then the traction side of it is really what is your 1-year goal, your quarterly rocks, they call them, which are just kind of quarterly goals. What issues are you currently experiencing as a company? So it really is an awesome tool that I would highly recommend you utilize. You can literally just Google EOS VTO and you can download it directly from their website. We'll put a link in the description of this podcast as well. So you can go and download that and start thinking about filling that out. But how Gino recommends that you do this is obviously taking time away from where you work all the time, which is why we kind of locked ourselves in the content studio and used it as a meeting room. They recommend offsite, but it's really a full day or a couple days of sitting down and talking about who are we as a company. And I think the most important thing that Gino talks about that really helped me is like, because these vision words or core values can be so cliche, right? I feel like people are kind of jaded towards them sometimes. Most of them are kind of cheesy and just lame. And so it's kind of a weird thing, but what Gino says in the book that I think is so great is you're not trying to come up with catchy words that will help you sell yourself to your clients. It's not at all what this is. What it really is looking at your company and saying, what traits do we already embody and care a lot about as an organization? And let's just name them so that way we can get all of our employees, the whole team really using the same language. So it's just, it does help kind of corral culture in an indirect way because you're really just defining this is our culture, this is who we are. And the best way, and I think what we were able to do, which is a real privilege, is we were just able to look at you and I and our team, Carrie, Ray, and Bray, and just say, okay, what traits do we all share? Because we have employees that already share so many of the traits that we have as part of our vision. And just with the nature of how we hired them, how all 3 of them were on our church team prior to working for us, and really how we had a part in just even building them up as photographers and videographers. It was nice because we were able to hire from that pool of people that we knew already shared a lot of the values that we carry as a company. All right, let's go through our VTO real quick and just kind of share. We just, as always, we want to be super transparent with you guys. Anything that we can give away that will help you in any way, shape, or form, we want to. So these aren't finalized. One major point that Gino makes is don't try to sit down, write them all, and then finalize them. He recommends giving them 30 days to kind of simmer, collect any feedback that people have or ideas, whatever, and really come back in 30 days, revisit them, and then kind of land on your solid values. But we'll just go through this here. So on the vision page, core values are the first thing on this page. And we put for our core values, number 1, we actually care. So what does that mean to you?
Yeah, so when we put this, it's not like a jab at everyone doesn't care except for us. It was more of a, we really approach and take every single client seriously, and we genuinely care about them and their company and their brand. So we don't really say this as much anymore, but we used to a lot on the discovery call. We would tell the client, like, we will care about your brand as much as you do, like almost like it's our own.
Yeah.
And so I think the heart behind that was we just really care a lot. I don't think we need to go that far anymore, but I do want them to feel like, wow, they really care about the vision of my company, what I'm trying to bring out. They care about my story. They care about my brand, and they want to help it grow and succeed. And that's exactly one of our core values and biggest hearts, is that we love people. We love working with people. We love brands, and we want to help them win. And so we actually care was kind of, it embodied all of that.
Yeah. And I think it even goes deeper than our professional relationship too. Like, we make it a point that we care about our clients as people too. There's been times where, we've even had clients like kind of confide in us a little bit, like during a shoot about something that they were going through that was difficult. And like, it's things like that I think really help us embody that we actually care. Is that we care not only, that's also super important, we care about your brand, and we care about it from a personal level as if it's our own, but we also care about you as a human too.
Yeah, it's not just a transaction. We're not just trying to get a paycheck. It's actually way down on the list. Yes, we do need your money because we do need to pay bills and pay our employees and pay our salaries, but we do care about you. And if something feels off during a shoot, we're going to be like, hey, are you okay? And we're going to probably dig a little bit because that's just who we are. We care about you.
Yep. All right, moving on down the list. We'll fire through these here. This will really be the majority of the time, is this core values section, because we want to kind of explain each one a little bit.
Yep.
So number 2, give more than you get. What does that mean?
Giving more than you get means really no matter what price they're paying or how big or small the client is, we're still going to give the level of attention and care to each and every project. I think for us, we almost always go in underbidding the amount of time that we spend on the project.
Yep.
Not as far as just like editing wise, but again, the caring factor of just thinking through and really having that foresight and just putting more time into it than we probably have to. Not to the point of where it really kills us in production and making the company run, but giving that little extra detail, giving that little extra edit if we can, or that spending that little extra time on that little logo animation because the company didn't quite have one. So we kind of made one happen just to make that ad or that video just that much better.
Yeah.
We're not going to nickel and dime people and say, hey, I spent an hour animating your logo. We're just going to do it and put it in the video and blow their minds because we just care. And so that's, I would say, that's just one of the things that we do with the edits is there's like little things that you would just kind of sprinkle in that took a little extra time, but made the project that much better. Not that we hold back creative flow and creative input, but sometimes there are things that we go out of our way and out of our budget, out of their budget to really make happen because we care about the client.
Yep. That's great. Number 3, full send. So you just kind of talked about this, like we don't withhold, creative liberty because the budget is defining it. Now there's obviously an extent to that. We're not going to go waste the whole budget on a studio rental.
Totally.
Unless it makes sense to. I probably would if it made sense to, but
true. Full send.
But full send is we won't hold anything back. If there's something that we can do that will make this product better, we will do it. Even if it means that it's a little extra time, even if it means sometimes that we're putting ourselves in bodily harm, like we do it. We'll hang out of the back of the Jeep and go 40 miles an hour to get that bike shot.
That's true.
And there's reasonability to all of this.
Use wisdom. Use wisdom.
Use wisdom. But it's kind of a no holds back attitude of just, if there's something that we can do that's within our power. Some things are not within our power.
Yep.
But if it's within our power, we're going to do it and not hold back just because they can't afford the extra time or whatever that may be.
I think sometimes we'll be working with someone that's really, really nice, and they're in the background kind of producing or helping produce or kind of walking alongside me as I direct or whatever. And they're like, oh, that'd be so cool if we could do that. I'm like, Austin, hey, we're doing this. And we'll just go for it. And they're like, wait, no, it'll kind of mess up the schedule. Or maybe it'll, are you sure? Is that cool? Like, could we put the drone up? Could we do that? Dude, we're doing it. Like, if you thought of it and you think it would add a ton of value, again, use wisdom. But I mean, more times than not, we're just going to go for it and just figure it out, because the client will be so overjoyed that you took care of them. You saw their idea as a good one. And again, I said use wisdom, because not all ideas are good. But I do think that, oh, is it possible to do that? And we know an easy solution, or it's something that we could try. Yes, we are going to do it right there, right then, and just serve our client.
Yeah. And sometimes it doesn't even work out. Like,
yeah,
but
hey, we tried.
We tried. And we've had that happen where we go back to the client. We're like, hey, it didn't work.
Yeah.
But at least we tried it and didn't. You know, a lot of people I think would probably just not try it because they are thinking about, well, I'm going to be, packing up an hour later and it's going to, drag my night on a little bit.
Yeah. Like brides that are like, we've started to shoot less wedding films, but there's tons of opportunities with brides that, oh my gosh, I had this idea, or I saw this on a TikTok, or I saw this. Could we like squeeze in time to do that? Yes. 1,000,000%.
Yep.
We will absolutely do that.
All right, moving on. The next one is details matter.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
They do. If you're even just talking about like physical shots in the film, whatever you're editing, details matter a ton. Like whether you're showing up to a business, like an establishing shot, and you need that front building shot, or you need that drone shot, that intro shot. Like just all the details that go into the actual video, the actual practical shooting and editing of a video. There's a lot of things. You could shoot a lot of footage, but not have any story.
Yeah.
And so I think we really care from the filmmaker's approach of the shots matter, that, the edits matter. And so always making sure, hey, did we get that room? Did we get the wide of that room? Did we make sure we got that person over there that's smiling at the table that needs to go in the shot? You know what I mean? Like, it's just all the little things. Oh, this shot that we just did would have been great, but the person was like 3 seconds late to walk into the frame. And even though it wasn't maybe a planned shot for that moment, I'm going to run it back, and I'm going to ask that person to walk back, because that could have made the cut, and that little detail of that person walking in the right time could just be awesome. Yep. And so why not just run it back and care about those little details that happened and make the film or the edit that much better?
Yeah, I would even say this applies to all aspects of our organization, in addition to the actual process of creating video or shooting photos or whatever. Like, details matter in the fact that we want to make sure that all of our emails get responded to in a timely manner.
Yep.
Details matter in that we want to make sure there's a Zoom link attached to any calendar invite that we're sending to people.
Yep.
Details matter down to an exact file structure that we need to follow when dumping every one of our projects, down to, details matter when you're picking out hard drives to build a RAID system so you can make sure you never lose client footage. Like that all really just all encompassing, we want to breed into our culture. I don't like that word breed, but just really the all encompassing that we want to implement into our culture is that details matter. In anything that I'm doing, am I being attentive to the little details? Because, one little detail being missed is probably not going to be a huge issue in your company, but you'll serve your clients better and just have a better time if you pay attention to the little details. Yeah,
and I would even say just for like music selection, I think we have a big strength in that, but it matters. Like when you look at a brand, what kind of vibe do you get from it? How do you feel? What kind of music do you hear when you look at the green and blue logo with this font? That is a very detailed approach that we take on everything. We almost can look at a brand and match it with a type of music, and we'd send it over and like, oh my gosh, you literally nailed it. Like they had no idea that they needed music, but we just put a song to it and they just like were blown away. I mean, early on, this before we even had any clients. We shot the Dennison and Dahlman video, and we just watched it recently. It was a barbershop we were walking past, and we looked in the window. We're like, yo, this place is cool. We should go inside. Hey, do you care if we like shoot around a little bit and like make you guys a free video? Are you sure you're not going to charge us? They were like kind of weird about it. And we're like, no, we'll just shoot some video. We shot it, came back to the office, edited that day within a couple hours, found this really cool, like really vibey, like cool.
Like an R or hip hop, jazz
kind of jazzy hip hop, but slow and really kind of lo-fi, super dope vibe. Sent it to him. The film was kind of dark and kind of moody, kind of like The Shop, and the song was kind of dark and kind of moody, but with like a little vibe to it. And they loved it. They're like, this song is perfect. This captures our vibe completely. We just had a video done recently. It was terrible. We hated it compared to this. And we just did it for free, for fun. But that's again, and I share that story to tell you, like, this has started from the very beginning.
Yeah.
Details have always mattered.
And that job, I mean, doing that video for free has now led to probably over $15,000 worth of business from just one client.
Yeah, and coming. So it's a yearly thing we do with them, and it's super awesome.
That's a perfect example of details mattering, and it really just is in everything that we do.
People can tell.
Yep.
People can
100%.
tell if you care.
All right. We could talk about details all day, but we'll do that.
For sure. I'm passionate. Can you tell?
Number 5, we're a family. Really, this one's...
We are family.
That's not the bass line, but...
I mean, it sounded pretty sick to me.
We are a family. Pretty self-explanatory, but we just have a really strong passion that all of our team should love working together.
Yeah.
Everyone on our team right now was friends prior to working here. We've all known each other for a couple years at least. And so we just we want to keep that and have that be a major part of our vision, that we're not probably ever going to post on Indeed, looking for
what's that?
An assistant editor, or on Monster or any of these job search places. We will probably always hire people that it probably won't always be people that we've trained. Hopefully, honestly, it's not.
Yeah.
But it will be always people that already are part of our family. And I think that's just a really important thing, because it reflects, I think our clients can tell that. Yes. Just even watching our content, like seeing the office shenanigans that take place has been really fun, because I haven't done any of it, the TikToks or anything like that, but I just get to watch them, which is cool. Yeah. But it's a family atmosphere. Every morning we sit down, we do our devotional together. We've been actually doing it, which is great. Yeah. Being consistent with it. We go through, 1 to 10. How are you doing this morning? Why? Is there anything that we can do to help? Whatever. Like, we care a lot about how our employees are doing in their personal lives, how they're doing here, how they feel about their job here is super, super important to us. And so we're a family, and that means sometimes we get after each other. True. Sometimes me and Bray are like button heads because we're both really similar personality and we both want to be right. And so, that's true. But at the end of the day, we can talk through things and still maintain healthy relationships. Yep. So.
I love it. Because when you're here, you're family.
Nice. All right, moving on. This is going to be a really long episode, but I think it's a really good one. Yep. The next section down here, so that's really our core values. Purpose, cause, or passion. So this is really supposed to be one statement that sums up why your company exists.
What is ours?
I don't really like it, but...
Read it. You won't.
Right now it says, to help our clients tell stories to solidify and grow their brand. The reason I don't love it is because it kind of pigeonholes into brands, which is not our only type of client. Sure. So we'll definitely need to work on that one to revise it. But I think really what we really wanted to get at was Glory Visuals exists to help people tell stories. And that's just such a cliche. Sure. Like, everybody says that. Yes. And I hate even saying it. Yeah. But really that's what we do is we tell stories, right. As cheesy as it sounds and as cliche as people have made it be, because everyone tells stories now and everyone's a storyteller.
We bring life to your story.
That was Darren's slogan when I met him.
Like 7 years ago, I started a company and bringing life to your story. Hashtag, there you go. Hashtag bringing life to your story.
But really helping people tell stories. Yeah. And a lot of times that's us helping them discover a lot of that. Yeah. help trying to pull the story out of people because unfortunately, not all of our clients have done this vision traction organizer. Actually, almost none of them have.
Right.
So a lot of them don't have a clearly defined vision. So a lot of what we try to help companies do is we try to help bring that out of them if they don't have it already defined for themselves.
Also, we're still within the 30 days. We are. We sat down with our team with all of this, and we had a meeting, and it was really awesome. And we hashed it all out. We shared the vision that Austin and I had. We explained the heart behind it, and they were all on board, and they had great suggestions. And so we're sitting on this for 30 days. We are going to revisit it, clean it all up. So obviously, we just wanted to share a little bit with you guys, share a little bit of our hearts and what we're doing in the current state of our company, because I really do believe it will help people if you guys can wrap your mind around just having some vision, setting some of this stuff in place. Your life, your business will be so much better off.
So we'll keep moving down this list. There's a 10-year target in here, which just an example of that. It's not supposed to be super specific. For ours, we just put that by 2030, so really 8 years, we want to be the largest full-scale media production company in the Midwest. Whatever that looks like, don't really know 100%, and we won't probably because even looking out like a year or two is really tough. Where do you want your company to be in 10 years? So that's what we put. The next section is really marketing strategy. So it has you define, firstly, your target market, which for us, we put businesses, artists, or people who see the value in quality video production. The reason we put see the value is we're not at a place where we're looking for clients to build our portfolio.
Yeah.
Of course, if clients come in that will build our portfolio, that's great, but we're not offering free work for portfolio building right now.
Right.
We're a for-profit company with multiple employees that we need to pay for. So we're working with people who see the value in it. Next is 3 uniques. That's really, like it says, things that are different about your company than anybody else.
Yeah.
So we put number 1, filmmaker's approach. That just really means that we're taking a filmmaker's approach to everything that we do, even if it's just a piece of business content that's going to go on Instagram. We're trying to think of how can this tell a story? How can this draw emotion in people and all of that. Second, I put likability. I just feel like that can be a struggle with people. There's a lot of really talented people out there, but not all of them are the easiest to work with. And we've had clients that tell us, wow, you guys just made it so easy to work with, and so you were so fun, whatever. And I just think that's something that's unique about us.
Yeah.
Number 3, I just put continual learning. Super important part of our culture, that we're always growing, we're always learning something new. Next is proven process, and that's a whole thing that I put on a separate page. It really just what they want you to do is they want you to outline every single step in the process of your business, getting a lead, through the sales process, delivery process. So I'll just go through just the steps that we put. So we put number 1, discovery. That's where you find out about the client. They find out about you. Number 2, vetting. So really, are we the right fit? And then if not, why are we not the right fit? And can we help you with a referral?
Yep.
The 3rd step is bidding. So that's where we say, yes, this is a client that we're interested in working with. Here's how much it's going to cost to make your vision come to life.
Yep.
Obviously, after that, they can say yes or no. There's negotiation in there. Then the next step is contract and deposit, where they say, yes, this is the price. We're going to do this. We send them a contract. They give us a deposit. They're good to go. Next step's pre-production. Obviously, anything leading up to production. Next step is production. Then post-production. Those are self-explanatory. After post-production is delivery. Then review and feedback, that can go back and forth, however many rounds of revisions that you have, and then completion. So really that's the end of the process when we send the final folders with links to download, all of that stuff. We send them a final invoice, collect the other half of the payment. Then the last thing in the chain here is follow up, see how things are performing, if there's anything they'd like to do different, if they have any referrals, if they have any questions, or if they have another project that they would like to work on. So that's just briefly our proven process. The next thing down on here is guarantee. This can just be a promise. We promise you'll love it, just keeping it simple, because honestly, that is our guarantee to our clients. Is we would say, we promise that you'll love your video. And that can kind of be a hard thing to promise, but I think it's just, hey, like we will do what it takes to make sure that you like your video. if we're way off the mark, which we've never been so far off the mark that we have to go back and reshoot or go back and redo an edit from scratch, but we would if we needed to.
And honestly, the only times we ever had to go back and really just reconfigure a video project is because there was like a lack of communication. It wasn't because like we didn't understand or they didn't get us or we didn't get them or we couldn't see the vision. It was because we had missed emails. It was because we had, Austin had talked to the guy on the phone, but I wasn't there. And then I got secondhand, stuff from whatever. We didn't have systems in place. This puts systems in place. This makes sure that you go through the proven process that literally it's fail proof. You literally cannot go through the process without getting all the details and getting all that stuff locked in which will help you so much more as you continue to move forward. So some of that stuff won't ever really happen. It shouldn't happen because either you vetted that problem out in step 2 or you have all the details because they're all in place and they're all in the right, it all has a home. So you can't miss it.
Yeah. It's cool how all of the different parts of this VTO kind of connect and they all support one another. And even just like as we're talking with our team and meeting with them, it's been cool to see little things and we're like, oh yeah, that lines up with our core value of we actually care. And like,
so awesome.
So yeah, it's really cool. And then last thing on the vision page is the 3-year picture, which is really just as far out as Gino recommends looking when you're kind of building goals for your business. So a couple of things on here that we have for a 3-year picture is we want to, do $1 million for that year in revenue. We want to own a couple buildings in 3 years. I mean, at least one, but it would be really nice to own a building and then have another option. Have a couple different studio spaces for renting, and then 10 employees is what we put for a goal in 3 years, which we're at 5 now. And so yeah, we just got to double in size.
Let's go.
In 3 years. And then the traction side, I'm not going to go through every single one of our 1-year goals or anything like that. But really, it just has a 1-year plan, which they would just recommend that you do till the end of this year. And then you really just set goals. What are my goals to accomplish this year? So on here, like we have to launch a course. We have to own a full set of cinema lenses. Like those are things that we want to have and accomplish this year that we can all run towards together. The next level that it breaks it down are rocks, which are quarterly. So we just looked 3 months out and really looked at what do we want to accomplish in 3 months. So an example of that is like we want to have 3 retainers in the next 3 months that we're on monthly contracts with, doing video projects on a regular basis with. And then the last thing on the traction page is an issues list. So what are things that are holding your business back? So I'll just give some examples here. One for us is studio promotion. We still haven't shot content. I mean, we have some content shot, but as of the filming of this podcast, we don't have a commercial running for both of the studio spaces that we now are able to rent out. So that's an issue. That's something that's holding us back. Google Voice setup. I literally did that today because I was sick of looking at it in the issues list. Like it's hanging us up from really being able to empower Carrie to take clients through the discovery process so that I'm not the one getting all the phone calls and vetting every single client because it just really doesn't make sense. Defining a meeting rhythm. So these are just some examples. These are things that, hey, what are some immediate things that are needed to knock out to move the business forward? And these aren't necessarily projects. I wouldn't put, edit this video on the issues list. These are really organizational things, working on the business, things that will move the organization forward. So that's pretty much it. It's really 2 pages. And again, would highly recommend that you check out the book Traction by Gino Wickman. It walks you through way more in depth of how to build this out, how to document your processes so that when you do hire an employee, you can hand them something and say, hey, here's how we do it. It's a really, really great resource. So I'd highly recommend that you check that out. But yeah, we just wanted to kind of share a little bit of our vision for this year, for the next few years. Yeah. So if you're like me, all of this is very overwhelming and you're like listening to this podcast on 2 times speed and you're like, okay, I want to just hear all the good stuff. I want to go, work on my business on Monday and crush it. But these 2 pages will change your life. This book will change your life. Honestly, we were listening to a podcast for a long time and still are that has been really inspirational for us. And Grow Your Video Podcast by Ryan Coral with Studio Sherpas. And he swears by this book. And we were a guest on his podcast and he suggested that we read this book. And so super grateful for Ryan Coral for inspiring us to do that because it has only helped us
so much. And so I think if you guys would pick this book up, it's like $10 or $12 on Audible, or you can buy it off Amazon. But it will literally change your organization for forever. And so taking these 2 sheets, the PDF is free. We'll put a link in there, but you can definitely check it out, fill it out. If you have any questions, if you're stumped, if you don't understand it, there's tons of stuff online. You can Google a lot of this stuff. It can explain to you. The website, the EOS website, that it literally breaks down every single thing, because it can feel overwhelming, but I was just pulling it up. It's very, very
how to write core values. Here's an article with some examples. So like there's a lot of, definitely do your own research, and hopefully what we've provided you with as examples of what we put on there will at least give you a starting point.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Darren said, definitely shoot us an email, hello@gloryvisuals.com. Let us know if you have any questions.
Yeah, so on this episode, we were super vulnerable. We shared with you guys, really, we didn't have a ton of vision. We just kind of rolled with the punches, and we just continued on this journey, making videos, shooting content, hiring people, and really we got to a place where we really, really needed to have vision for us and for our team on paper. We're something that we can run towards, goals that we can run towards. And so hopefully this was helpful for you guys. Hopefully you're inspired. I'm actually kind of re-inspired just from, we wrote those not too long ago, and we're about
weeks ago,
and we're about to revisit them in a couple weeks, just to kind of get them solidified and get them really like typed out, maybe print them out, hang them on the wall, and just be proud of them, because it's a big deal. It's a big step in our company. We're super excited about it. We hope you guys are excited to get some vision for your company, for your business, for your life, your marriage, whatever it is. We hope that you guys crush it and have vision for your year 2022. We're believing for it, and we just thank you guys so much for listening. We love you guys. If you guys are listening on YouTube, you guys got to enjoy us sitting here on our cute, tiny couch. You're welcome.
And if you're on Apple Podcasts or wherever else you get your podcast, definitely be sure to leave us a rating. We love reading your feedback.
Yes, thank you guys so much. We just hit 5,000 downloads on our podcast, and that's a big deal. We've been doing this just over a year, and we're just overjoyed by the fact that you guys would listen and be a part of this family. Glory Gang, we love you, and we'll see you in the next video.
Peace.
See ya.